We are live. Welcome to Cranky Old Anglers. How you doing, Lyle?
I'm getting better. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing all right. I'm getting by. I'm got a bruised ego, bud.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the hunting season ended on Sunday. All right, let's go. Let's go back. All right, let's start. We're gonna start here. No, let's start with the weather because they're gonna have exploding trees. Everybody, did you hear about that? Trees are gonna start exploding everywhere.
Well, when the ice, if you get ice, they will. But other than that, I don't know how they're going to explode.
Well, they say the sap in the trees expands at too rapid a pace, and that'll cause the trees to crack and split and hence explode and fall over and all of that other stuff. And so be careful out there, everybody. I got to share what temperatures we're going to have here in northern Illinois. You ready for this, Lyle?
I am.
Tomorrow we're going to wake up to 20 degrees, right? And by day's end, we're going to be at -10.
Well, if it's got to be one of us,
it's a 30-degree drop. And that's not including the wind chill.
Yeah, no kidding.
And then on Friday we got -6 to wake up to, and during the day it's going to drop to -8. And then we got 6 degrees for a high and a low on Saturday. So that's going to be a heat wave. But then on Sunday we're going back down to -2. So,
well, we got some -2s and -4s coming up here in the next few days, and I'm not looking forward to that.
That's crazy. Sheila was supposed to go to Michigan City, Indiana for work on Friday. I don't think she's going to go. I think she's going to stay home. Thank God. I don't want her on the road and those kind of.
That's ridiculous. Hey, Heather.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Hello, everybody. We'll call everybody out here in a minute or two. We appreciate y'all coming in. I did notice something, so you guys in chat did know that the comments are coming in, coming over slow on StreamYard. So if we're slow to respond to you or to highlight your comments, please forgive us. We're going to get there. So look at this. There's Sandy Toes. What's going on? How you doing, Sandy? Bunch of people coming in. So and there's Joe Buck. What are you doing, Joe Buck? What's up? So here, let's go over this. Last week was the last week of hunting season here in Illinois, right? Sunday was the last day. So I hunted hard last week. I got out there on Tuesday with the crossbow because it's still archery, right?
Right.
And 3 deer came in 100 yards away. I can't hit them from that far, right? Straight down the lane. I could see them all on there. I posted pictures of it and everything.
I see.
Next day, I go out there again, hoping they'd get a little closer. And nope, only 2 came out, but in the exact same spot. They're coming off of this. There's this big hill down at the end of the lane that I sit at, right? They came in down off the hill. I could see them coming down, and they came out, and they went in there, ate a little bit, and they went back in. Now, mind you, I've been seeing deer on my trail cams come in right in front of my blind the whole time. So I'm like, what the heck's going on? So I go to swap batteries out on my trail cam while I'm there before I go home the one day. And I look back at my blind, and you open one of the windows in those pop-up blinds. And the only thing I could tell is that hole, you couldn't see inside the blind. It was dark as night, but there was a big black like triangle because I opened up one of the corner windows. So I'm thinking that might have given me some issues. So I'm like, all right, well, they're coming in every day. Tomorrow is CWD season, which is late. It's the late hunting season for the year. And you get tags for rifle, but only does. So I brought my rifle out there. And they didn't show up on Friday at that same spot. They didn't show up on Saturday. And I'm like, oh, I'm tired. My mom called. I had to do something on Sunday for her. I'm looking at my trail cams all day, and deer are coming in throughout the day. I could have filled all 3 of my tags in one day.
Wow.
So now all I got left is some tag soup to eat.
Isn't this your first year, though?
It's my first year hunting, and everybody that I've talked to says that I did pretty good because I saw a ton of deer.
If you saw a lot of deer, that's a home run. Yeah, because it'll get easier every year that you hunt from now on. I mean, I started hunting when I was just a kid, and, we had really good places to hunt and things, but all them things change. So if you got a good place to hunt now, you better hang on to it.
I've already been talking to the owner. He's like, yeah, not a problem, Mark. You can come back here. You know, I did leave those deer a parting gift. I left them with a big old salt block for them to enjoy while I was gone.
Heck yeah. They will too. They'll use it.
Yeah, you can't hunt over them here, over feed or minerals here in Illinois. But I figured, you know, there's a couple of small bucks in there. If they get on there, maybe next year they'll come back and I'll have something a little better to shoot at. Hopefully we'll get them tags filled earlier in the season during gun season. I'll go sit and watch that field and I could reach out and touch them, you know, from 200 yards. So I'm not worried about that so much.
Is there any cattle in the area that you're hunting?
None whatsoever.
Okay. That salt block will probably still be there next year.
Well,
and if it's not, it'll dissolve into the ground and they'll paw that up and still get it because the rain will saturate the soil and they'll just keep coming back to it.
Yeah, well, that's all that counts. As long as they don't, as long as the gay warden doesn't come looking for me, we'll be all right.
What's he going to do if it's gone?
Well, exactly. As long as it's gone, it's fine. Not a problem. But you know what? Looking back on all of that, usually winters for me, starting in like end of October, November, I'll get a fishing trip in November usually, are awfully long. And I'll tell you what, it's already the middle to the end of January, and this really did take up a lot of my time. So I'm super grateful for that.
Here's the big question, Mark. Did you enjoy deer hunting and have a good time?
I did.
Well,
I
then,
did 100%.
There you go. That's all you can ask for.
Well, you know, I think I might have done a little bit better too. Not that if I wasn't sick practically the whole month of December too. So.
Oh my God, I'm telling you, I've been so sick here lately. It's just unbelievable, and there ain't nothing I can do about it. I can't get over the shit, and you know, it's just crazy. But I have made great strides in the last few days. But still, you know, if you're a diabetic, and people that are will understand what I'm saying, it doesn't matter if you get a cold or the flu, or if you get a cut on your finger, it takes forever to get over anything that happens to you. That's just part of the life you live as a diabetic. And every time you get a cold, it always turns into bronchitis. And you go to the doctor all you want to, they're going to give you a shot in the ass and send you home. And the only thing that they're going to give you is the same stuff as you buy over the counter medicine, basically. So you might as well just buy the cheap shit and be done with it.
Well, they say that stuff don't work either. I read a big, long report about that, and they said that's a bunch of malarkey, too. I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, I'll tell you what it does. It makes me sleep a lot. And if I'm sleeping a lot, I ain't worried about it. So I just take it and go on. You know, gosh, they think it's really funny because they used to catch me sleeping. Little did they know that was because I was taking cold medicine 4 or 5 times a day just so I could function, you know, without blowing my nose or coughing or gagging or something the whole time. And they thought it was funny, but to me, it was serious because that's all I did. When I take that stuff, all I do is sleep.
You know, when I was
the non-drowsy stuff makes me sleepy.
When I was sick, you know what made me feel better, Lyle?
What's that?
A hot toddy. Oh my goodness. Never had one of them until this last month when I was sick. And that's a little bit of bourbon with some hot water, lemon juice, and a cinnamon stick.
You know, just straight without the other would probably work for me.
Well, you know, the heat probably helped, the warm fluid. So.
Well, maybe so. I have a brand new bottle that I got from Christmas of some really nice stuff I haven't sampled yet, but I'm fixing to one of these days. But I don't want to do it with this cold medicine.
You let me know what you think of that when you open that sucker.
I will. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
I kind of figured I'd send you something a little nice. I sent the same bottle that I sent to Troy. He enjoyed it quite a bit. Just remember.
He probably already drank his.
Oh yeah, he drank his a while ago. He got all belligerent while he was drinking it too. We had to put up with that little type.
Excuse
me. That's funny. I got a picture of Troy I should have shared on here, but I don't have it loaded. Maybe next week we'll share that one. Jody knows the one I'm talking about. So yeah, that's where I was at with the hunting. So I'm really glad that I started this year. For the longest time, I was kind of waiting for somebody to invite me, or not just invite me, because I did get a couple of invitations, but I was looking more for a mentor, and I just figured this was the year I had the opportunity to hunt that property, and I just took advantage of it and figured it out. So if you're ever in that situation with whatever it's for, folks, I recommend you take it. You know, I'm an old man and still trying to learn new things. So.
Well, and it's something that you wanted to do anyhow, so you might as well get a shot at it. I used to really enjoy hunting. I really do. But I want to be in a stand up in the air. I don't want to sit on the ground. You get up in that stand, you can do anything you want to, and them deer never know you're there. They'll walk right underneath of you if you're smoking or drinking coffee, and they might smell the coffee or the smoke, but they'll just look around. They're not afraid. People think that you can't smoke when you deer hunt, and that's bullshit. And I'll tell you why. They smell smoke in wood stoves and stuff burning on these farms every day. They smell all the smells on vehicles. The tractors and combines and tractors and trucks and everything run through these. They're used to that. It does not upset them unless they walk up on it and you fire one up. You know, that'll scare them. But I've killed deer with cigarettes in my mouth. I've killed deer drinking coffee, eating vegetable soup out of a thermos and just set the cup down and have them right there in front of me. A lot of that is just stuff to get you to buy other crap that you probably don't need to start with.
Maybe we'll try a tree stand next year. You know, I was before last couple of weeks, I've been kind of looking at the trees where I was hunting, and there isn't very many straight ones there. They're all kind of like jagged and kind of willy wampus. And
well, I'll tell you, ladder stands are the way to go, and get a 2-man ladder stand. There's plenty of room in that if you want to take video cameras or backpacks or stuff with you to eat and snack on or whatever. And a minimum of 12 feet in the air. Minimum.
Yeah, everything I've been looking at, it's like 18. A minimum I've been looking at were 18. So
yeah, I like 15. 18 is a little much for me. I don't see no reason to be up there. They don't have no problem with it at 12 and 15. So, you know, like I say, I had a cat that used to come down and sit in the deer stand with me, and I hate cats with a passion. I really do. But every time I'd go to shoot this sucker, it'd have a mouse in its mouth, and you really can't do that. You know what I mean? So I was sitting in a deer stand, and she climbed right up the tree behind me, and she tried to sit on the seat with me, and I kicked her ass out. And she'd sit in the floor of this deer stand, just curl up ball, just sit there while I was deer hunting. And I got video on cassette when I had a cassette, reel-to-reel cassette camera of her with her nose sticking out off of the part that goes back to the tree, and a little baby deer with its nose pointing, and they was smelling each other. And I'm up top of there videotaping them. So you can't tell me that being up in the air that the wind's got to be just right for them to smell you. That's all there is to it.
Hey, Chris, hi, Cindy. Cindy says, Mr. Deer doing other things too. I wonder what that is, Lyle.
What's that?
She says that you missed a deer doing other things too.
Maybe so.
Parker's got a comment I want to read here. He says, you might get away with that with young deer, but not with older, mature deer.
That's not true. I've had giants within 20 yards of me stand there and look right at me and not know what I was. I had 150 plus deer stand there, a real pretty chocolate one time, and I was going to shoot it, but we had an agreement with everybody around there that you wouldn't shoot anything that was 150 class or bigger, and I knew there was a bigger buck in there. There's a reason I didn't kill that one. And it stood there, milled around the tree, eating acorns around me. I'm sitting there smoking a cigarette, and it never. That's horse shit. They don't care. They're used to them smells. I'm telling you, it don't make no difference. Now on the ground's different. On the ground's different. But not.
I know what Jerry's killed some dandies even this year. He sent me some pictures, so I'm always jealous of the pictures he sends me. I wouldn't say jealous, I'd say envious.
The place that I had, the last place I had to hunt, we lived out in the country, and there was 4,000 acres that hadn't been hunted for years and years and years until the Polo place in St. Louis bought them out, and they divided it up into 200 acre plots and would lease those out to deer hunters. I couldn't afford that. But we lived right across the road from it, had 37 acres there. Behind there was 3,000 acres of corn and bean fields. And they crossed the road going from one place to the other. And the place I deer hunted was on an old road bed. They had actually moved the blacktop road from back where I was hunting on one side of this property to out in front of the house. And I just set up on that old road bed, and it was like a highway for them, running up and down through there. They come right up, them giant deer. I'm talking about 120, 30 class deer will come right up underneath the tree, just stand there. I'd sit there and smoke and go on. They ain't give a shit. They can't smell you when you're up there. I'm telling you.
Jerry says tree stand height depends on thermals and terrain conditions.
Well,
you know, I had one pretty good sized buck come 30 feet to my left on my blind, and I didn't have the windows open on that side. So I kind of got up out of my chair, went to take a turn. As soon as I laid my little finger on that window, he heard me slide that little window down, and they say they're silent windows, right?
Yeah.
He took off like a bat out of hell.
I'll tell you something that'll get them more than anything. I had a ground blind. I put a heater in that thing, and they could smell that heater at 100 yards.
That could be what was. Well, actually, the one day I had them come in, I didn't have the heater going, but when it was 5 degrees outside, I had to have that heater going because.
Yeah, I got you. But I'm telling you, they can smell that. They can smell that because that's gas, and they can smell that exhaust. But like I say, they hear everything that's on a farm, whether it be a log splitter or a tractor or a comp. It don't matter. The grain elevators, they hear that stuff every day. It's not like it was in the 1800s when we didn't have all that stuff. They've adapted to that.
Schmieder the Cedar says, I smoke my hunting clothes for cover scent. It works great. I've heard a lot of people do that too.
Yep. I know guys that wrap them up in pine cones and leaves and dirt and all kinds of stuff and vacuum seal them in a bag and leave them up till next hunting season. I never did. Never did.
What do you say I say hello to everybody real quick before we forget?
Let's do that.
All right. I see Benoit Fishing Outdoors. What's up, ladies? How you doing? There's Miss Chrissy Brown. Chrissy and Ernie both have COVID. Hopefully they'll get better real quick. I hate to hear that. There's Cindy Stokes. How you doing, Cindy? Crappie Day Fish on in the house. What's going on? Heather Stokes. Hope you're feeling better too, Heather. John Boy's catfished in the house. There's LG Bass. I think LG's birthday is either today or it was yesterday. Forgive me, Tom.
Hey.
There's Parker Pursuits. What's going on, Parker? Schmieder of the Cedars. There's Josh at the Weekend Angler. There's my buddy Matt from Want to Be Outdoors. He's been chasing deer pretty hard, too. He's been sending me all sorts of pictures. And we got Mark Barnum over on the vertical side. What's going on, Mark? Thanks for tuning in, everybody. If you guys could hit that thumbs up for us before you leave, we'd appreciate it. So
that's right. Parker says vehicles don't bother deer, and he's right. It's when they stop and you make eye contact, and I will go for that. And that's just like coyotes. You can drive down the road and there'll be coyotes 50 yards out in the field. You slow down and stop and see what happens. Them babies are gone because they've been shot at so many times.
Jerry Parker says, I will totally disagree with you all day.
What's that?
Jerry says he'd disagree with you all day.
That's okay. I can disagree with him too. It don't
There's
matter.
Matt.
Hey, Matt, how you doing, buddy?
Let's see what Josh had to say here. When Lyle was hunting, deer had never seen a human being, let alone smelled a cigarette. He had an advantage.
It is what it is.
Mark says, I had a little fork horned sniff me when I was archery hunting in Colorado. I had a blast with him. Blink your eyes and he would jump. They're like that. They're kind of funny. I'm telling you, that window being open and that blind going from having camo covering that window to it looking like a black spot on that blind. I'm telling you, that's what I think did it. So next year, I think I'm going to just paint those windows black so they get used to that looking that way throughout the year. And that might be an advantage too.
That won't hurt anything. But when it's dark inside, if you don't move around a lot, you get away with quite a bit. But on the ground, scent and movement is a lot different on the ground than it is up in a tree. I'm just saying.
If wind was blown the wrong way, I didn't even go out. I just stayed
I got
home.
a question to ask you about your deer blind.
Sure.
Was it one of the pop-up blinds that you stake it down? Now,
It was.
did you camo that up any, or did you just rely on what it looked like?
I relied on what it looked like this year, and I think definitely next year we're gonna brush it in some. Now, let
That's
me
what I
explain
did.
why. I was hunting the first year on JT's property this year, and I kind of was so grateful to have the opportunity. I didn't want to bother him with too much stuff, and I'm not going to go around his farm cutting stuff down to brush in my blind without talking to him about it.
Exactly, yeah. But
So
I
that's why I
usually,
did that.
when I was in a ground blind, and sometimes I did hunt a ground blind, but I don't like I don't prefer doing that. But sometimes it's just handy. But I always sprout the deer blind I had loops on it where you could tie stuff to it, and
And
I'd
this
cover
one
it
does
up.
too.
I'd cover it up, where it looked like part of the woods.
Yeah, he's this. Mine has like a strap, like straps that go all the way around the outside that you can
Yep,
brush that in. So
yep.
we'll definitely make some adjustments next year. Jerry says, but I am hunting highly pressured public ground. I know I talked to Jerry a little bit. I know he probably walks that extra mile or two to get past where all the lazy hunters don't want to go, which is probably definitely in his favor, I would say. So like the property I hunt, Lyle, it's private. It's a private piece of land. I think it's like 100 acres. I think it's not all that huge, but it's surrounded by conservation land of McHenry County Conservation District, and that's a lottery draw. And there's guys in there all the time. The problem is, that conservation property is like perfect for deer, so they come out of there to eat. And they come out of there to feel safe when they're being hunted on that land. So you got to catch them at the right time. And
Uh,
it's not like I can go looking for their beds because their beds are all on that conservation land. I actually went up on top of this hill that's on the property with my binoculars, and I can see where they're bedding. So I know exactly where they're at. I just can't hunt that property. The conservation police, not the DNR, they're the McHenry County Conservation Police. They got drones and stuff in there at night every now and then, during the day to see who's back there hunting. So you kind
I
of,
don't blame them. I mean, if you don't maintain stuff with whatever's available to you, the poachers will run you over. That's just the way it is. And I don't mean to be negative about that, but that's just facts of life these days, the way we live it.
Cindy's asking prayers for her niece today. Definitely will send them. Cindy, for sure, without a doubt.
Well, I hope it's not Tina, but I worry about that.
Because John Boy says, I agree with you, Lyle. Every deer I killed, I was smoking in my climbing stand.
Yeah, if you're up in a tree, and I'm not saying that you can't get a wind that will come in from a strange direction and blow it down on them, but as a general rule, wind doesn't go up. I mean, it goes up. It doesn't go down that much. So if you're up in a tree, and especially if it's not a very windy day, you're gold. I'm just saying.
If you're hunting hills and stuff, you got the thermals to deal with. That's a little different animal.
Well, and the last place I was hunting that we had all them giant deer, I was up on a hill and I hunted the draw down below. But like I say, that last deer that I seen, I watched him chase a doe up and down that hill for 2 hours. And finally they got so hot, they both laid down. And when they got up, she walked right underneath the deer stand and stopped, and he walked out about 15 yards from it and stopped. And I'm sitting there with a cigarette going, trying to decide, because he was probably a 180 class deer or bigger. He was a giant and just a big deer. And none of the other deer, there was bucks come in there all afternoon. They didn't go over there and mess with him and her. I mean, he was the king of the roost. And somehow I knocked him down and found 3 drops of blood, looked for him for a week and never did find him. I don't know what happened to him.
He probably lived, to be honest with you.
Well, they claim, everybody that I ever talked to said if you wound one, they'll always go to water. And there was a creek down below us. It was on another farm, but I went there every day. and I walked down the path he went, because there's a beaten path where the deer had been running back and forth. Walked down there to that creek, and I walked up and down that creek every day for a week. That's where I seen that giant 6-point. He was on a doe, and he had 4 bucks around him. And this old deer was gray, and he was a 6-point, and he was probably 25 inches wide. Great big old bases, but he's just a 6-point. He was illegal to shoot, but he was just a giant. And them other bucks, them 8s and 10s, had run in there too, that doe, and he'd run them off. And finally, him and that doe walked off, and the rest of them, they left him alone. They didn't mess with that big old boy. And I was sitting there, and it was a real windy day, and the wind was blowing towards me, and I was looking for that deer that I'd shot, and all this was going on around me, and none of them ever knew I was there. If they did, they didn't acknowledge it, because they'd run in there and try to get after that doe, and that big old boy, I mean, he'd stick them. He didn't fool around with them. But he was old. He was gray all over almost. He was a badass of the group, I tell you.
I was hunting river bottom. I was walking through the woods, and as soon as they saw me, they were taking off. You know, I had one shot on one, but I saw a house behind it, and I didn't feel comfortable taking that shot, so I didn't. But other than that, I would pull in on the property and see a couple of deer, and as soon as they saw me, they'd stop, pay attention. As soon as I'd move, they were gone. What's up, 205? How you doing, channel supporter? Thanks for your support. We appreciate it 100%.
Thank you, Troy. We appreciate it very much.
Matt says, I put my hunting clothes in bags, in totes with earth scents, like earth scent wafers and cedar needles all year long. That's probably a good idea.
I know a lot of guys that do that. I don't. I'm sure Fred Scherger does. He's Tina's fellow. They've been living together for years and years and years. And he's the hardest core deer hunter I know. He'll hunt public ground. He'll walk in so far nobody else will go, and he'll drag them out by himself. And he's probably 50 years old now, but he's a man's man. He goes at it harder than anybody I know, and you can't keep up with him in the woods. You just can't do it. But he kills some really good deer every year.
There's Crappie Kid, another channel supporter, says, plant grapes for deer. Can't hurt.
They like them. They like them. There's not Jeremy they don't like.
You know what? I know Jerry's, here's the funny part. Everybody knows about Jerry and how he's fishing and what he's catching fishing, but, he's out there hunting every chance he gets. Sure. I know that for a fact. Yep. And I'm pretty sure that he tags out like effortlessly. So, he knows what he's doing.
Yep. If you just want them to eat, it never was that hard for me to get, but I got to where I didn't hunt anything but trophies. And like I say, we had an agreement out there with all the people that lived in that area, that if you didn't kill anything unless it was 150 class or bigger, and if there was a question, I just wouldn't shoot one.
There's my buddy Troy. He says it's that big bald head sticking out the window, Lyle. Talking about me. Hey, I want you to know, Troy, that I had a hat on. I was all covered up.
I used to go at it really hard.
Plant fruit trees, grapes, and it will sweeten your spot.
All you got to do is plant a garden. They'll find it. Trust me. And if you put sweet corn in it, you better be careful. You'll never get an ear out of it. Because they deer love that.
Yeah, and Schmieder says, brush them deer blinds in. The more natural they look, the better. I believe that.
I've done the same thing on my ladder stand. I would put brush around the ladder. Sure did.
Hey, Mike Irvin, how you doing?
Just enough room to get up and down the ladder.
Yeah, Matt says, I've killed many deer from the ground and in a tree. It's all about scent, brushing it in and brushing around you. So, hey, there's Frank. What's going on, Frank? Deer smell Frank. Skunks all the time. Smoking in a tree won't bother them.
I guess that's probably true.
Oh, look at this. We got a super chat from Troy.
Thank
He
you.
says, it's his big head hanging out of a blind, Lyle. Thanks, buddy. My friend. Don't make me show that baby picture I found of you.
Oh.
Actually, you know what? I might actually show that picture now.
Really?
Yeah, give me a second to find it.
Okay.
I'll find it. So yeah, here's another thing that happened here just recently.
Thanks, Mike. I've been pretty damn sick. I'll be back. Don't worry. What was that?
I happened to win a draw for a turkey tag here in Illinois.
Well, good for you.
So I've never turkey hunted, just like I've never deer hunted, but I'm going to go. I signed up for some online webinars on turkey hunting in Illinois, just to be specific. So we're going to, that's too good. Wait till you guys see this. Let me share this out. Okay. So at least they'll point me in the right direction. So that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Let's see. Share the screen. There we go. Hold on. Here's the picture that I found. Look at that, Lyle. What do you think of that one right here? After digging through the internet, I managed to find that. So.
Oh my.
There you go.
That's pretty awesome.
That is fantastic, if you ask me. Jerry says he has a wall full of 150 to 190 class deer. It doesn't get me excited as much anymore. Rather chase giant cats and take folks out to get them on fish. Well, there you go.
Yeah, I got you. I understand. Well, I got to killing so many in my life that I used to take my boys, and we had places up on Truman Lake that we hunted, and I'd take them up and we'd set deer stands up for them to hunt, and I'd go fishing while they hunted. It just got to the point where, especially in South Missouri, I couldn't kill a deer big enough to justify my time, is the way I felt about it. But I've been to Colorado a few times, and that's about as good as it gets, going out there and deer and elk hunting in the mountains and riding them horses up and down them mountains. It doesn't get much better than that, whether you kill anything or not. And I killed a giant out there one year. And once you do that, once you get to the point where it's like catching a 100-pound catfish, once you catch that, what's the next step to go to? I mean, once you kill a giant deer, you either got to kill them to eat or for fun. And it never was the same after you kill them great big ones for me, just to go out and hunt. Now, I enjoyed it. That's where I learned how to text on a phone. Marky was hunting over the hill from me in a stand, and I was up on that hill, and he'd send me messages, and I'd fiddle fart around trying to learn how to text. That's how I learned how to text. Something I wished I'd never learned to do. But you're sitting there and there isn't much going on, and of course, hell, you couldn't get it answered before he'd send you 3 or 4 more. But deer hunting is something that it's very spiritual to sit out there in that deer stand and watch nature around you, whether it be squirrels or birds or turkeys or whatever comes around. It's very, very nice. Something that most people enjoy a lot.
I definitely did enjoy my time. Even when it was snowing and cold out there, it was still nice to sit out in nature and just kind of soak it in and keep your eye on the prize and stay focused. It really helps melt away all that stress. That's for sure.
Yep, I got you.
Frank says, y'all see the Kentucky wildlife officers bust all them shady catfishing?
Ain't that something?
Selling trophy cats to pay lakes. I haven't seen that, but we'll check it out. Maybe we'll talk about that next week after we take it.
Yeah, I did see
Here's
that.
The comment of the night right here, Lyle. You want to read that for me?
Troy, who's your daddy? Well,
oh, there's Troy. He says, I wish I was that thin. I would not have to be on this darn diet.
It is what it is.
Yeah, porky patties say different. Troy was on a cruise, I found out last week.
Oh, really?
Yep, he's over there eating and drinking and having a good time. I even heard he did karaoke. He was singing a bunch of songs on there. So
I'd like to have seen that. If anybody
nobody
has
took.
video of that, I'd like you to send it to me.
Don't worry, we got AI. We'll get something put together.
Or we make up our own video.
Speaking of which, did you guys see that thumbnail I made for tonight?
Very
Did you
nice.
see how tall Lyle was in that?
A lot taller than James Dockery.
I was going to say, maybe we need to throw it together an AI comparison between you and James Dockery.
I think that's a great idea.
I mean, I'm like, AI is ridiculous. I'm like a foot taller than Lyle, and he was towering over me, and he had muscles too. What's up with all that?
Well, they're all gone. They left years ago.
Mm-hmm.
They left years ago. So, how long is it going to be before you're able to fish where you're at, Mark?
I drove down. Okay. I went out to the farm today, picked up my blinds and my trail cams and did all that today. And I had to swing by the river and take a look. And that river is locked up solid again. It froze back up. And with this weather, that's going to add at least another 2 weeks, even if it got warm again. So it's going to be a little while. I did check out Mendota County Parks in the city of Mendota, right? Or in the city of Madison, Mendota County Park. They were closed all last year, and I was wondering if they finished their project, and they did. So they redid that whole park. So I was looking at dates. I'm definitely going to go out there and do at least some channel cat fishing or some bluegill fishing for maybe 3 days before we go on our vacation at the end of May. So I'm looking forward to that. Probably end of March. I'm thinking third week in March, maybe I'll be able to get out and do a little fishing. So I'm looking forward to that. But I got plenty to do to keep me busy between then and now. So
I was checking when you and I was visiting before the show. I was checking the extended forecast for the month of February. Now, with all this cold weather coming up, I'm figuring it's going to take a minimum. If we have 40 and 50-degree weather, it'll take a minimum of 2 weeks to thaw out. So that would, if the weather forecast, what they have predicted for February actually holds true, and you don't know if it's going to or not, third week of February probably be before the ice is out here. So I hope that James Dockery's happy. He's the one that wanted this crap.
I might do some ice fishing next year. We can talk about that on another show, though. Let's see what Josh says. Josh says Troy sings some good karaoke. You should see him do "Man, I Feel Like a Woman" by Shania Twain.
Oh man! Wow.
Frank's looking forward to ice fishing. He says, "Ice fishing time, baby. We got 5+ inches. I'm all over it the rest of the week." Well, good luck to you, Frank. I know you'll get
good luck. That's what you're going to do. I don't wish nothing bad on that, but I seen another video where some guys was videoing a guy the other day that had the big stones enough to drive their truck out on the ice, and it fell through with 3 of them in it. They all got out. I do not feel sorry for them. If you're dumb enough to drive a nearly new vehicle out on the ice and it falls through, you got what you deserve.
I'm not going to highlight that one, Josh. Schmieder says it'll be a couple of good weeks for jig tying, Lyle. That's for sure.
I tie every day. I on this kick now of going through a bunch of jigs that I have made up and putting brush guards on them, and that's something that goes really quick. And I'm telling you, them brush guards will save you if you're fishing brush piles or structure that is wood structure that has limbs and stuff on it. It doesn't stop you from getting hung up, but it'll cut it dramatically. Unbelievable amounts. Instead of losing 5 or 6 a day, you lose 1 maybe, or you might go 2 or 3 days without losing 1. It really has made a huge difference in the amount of stuff that I lose since I started putting them on. And it doesn't take very long, and I can sit here and do 3 or 4 dozen of them a night right quick, watching YouTube videos and stuff, and get it done. I have a new knife sharpener that I spend a little time with that just, I finally am to the point where I can sharpen a knife now, and I like that a lot.
Well, you got that fancy new tool. That'll help you out too.
That is.
Great tool for the job, makes it easy.
It does.
Jerry says, need some major flooding to bring river levels up.
I agree.
Preferably flood stage.
Oh, yeah.
Love some spring flood water conditions.
You betcha. A lot of people are afraid of that. That's when you catch, that's when I catch the most and biggest fish, in flood conditions.
Same here. Water drop here isn't much, but it makes a big difference. The higher the water, the better the fishing is here.
That's right. And they're active. They're active.
Lila, Sheila booked me a fishing trip in Alaska.
Nice.
Last week they had a 25% off discount, right? It's a 6-hour fishing trip for $375 for halibut and rockfish. You can't beat that.
Pretty good. That's pretty good. What area?
Yeah, I'm sorry?
What area?
In Juneau. Juneau was one of the places. The other one was Ketchikan. And Ketchikan, it's mainly salmon that they catch over there. So I want to catch halibut and I want to catch rockfish because those are on my bucket list. I've caught plenty of salmon. So I wanted to get out there and do that. And now I was reading on the site that that the guide has. What they do is they'll actually process the fish for you at the processing place they have, and they'll ship it home here. So if I get some fish, I'll have them ship it home. It'll be waiting for me when I get back. So
that's pretty cool. Yeah, because they'll put it on dry ice and get it, like next day or second day or something.
So I've never had halibut or rockfish, so I look forward to trying either of those.
Yeah, halibut would be cool. I told you before, I have a friend of mine that lives in Alaska, and I can go up there anytime. But my God, it costs a lot of money to go up there. And if I go, I want to drive. I don't want to fly. I want to drive so I can see everything between here and there. And the guy I knew used to stop in my garage all the time, went up there, and he retired from Ford Motor Company in Kansas City. He had a travel trailer. Him and his father-in-law would go up there, and he would have new tires put on his truck and new tires put on his camper. Camper was a 2-wheel camper. He had 2 spares for it, and all 4 of the tires that we took off of his truck was mounted up for spares. And he'd come back and he'd have like 1 tire of all that left. The roads are so tough up there, they just destroy tires. But he'd catch a lot of fish. He'd go up for a month, about every other year. And they caught the fire out of fish up there. But I can go up and stay with Jackie, and he's got a house up there, but he caribou hunts and moose and elk and deer hunts, and he's caught them big old halibut. I forgot how big that last halibut was that he caught. It was a giant, and catches a lot of salmon and stuff. I want to go to Kenai River. That's a dream of mine. Hey, Ruben, how you doing, buddy? Glad to see you made it in tonight.
What's going on, Ruben? How are you? So I'm looking forward to that. Like I said, that's at the end of May, so that'll be a fun time.
Now, are you gonna fly up there?
Yeah, we're doing a cruise. So what we're doing is we're flying into Alaska, and we're going to spend a week on land. We're going to go to what's the name of the big mountain up there? My memory's slipping. I was just talking to her about that today. We're going to stay in the national park up there. We're going to take a river tour for like 2 days, stay in town for 2 days, and then we get on the cruise, and then we're going to start cruising all the glaciers and stuff over there. So, McKinley. Yeah. Well, that's the second name, the older name. I know it was McKinley, but
Denali.
Denali, that's it, Denali. We're staying in Denali National Park, so looking forward to that. It ought to be a good trip. We got the all you can drink package too, Lyle. It's going to be sweet.
Why would you want that?
I don't know.
So you can drink all you want.
Listen to this, Lyle. You got an app on your phone. No matter where you are on that boat, no matter where, you can order yourself a drink and they'll bring it to you.
Oh, man. That's a hell of a deal right there.
I'm telling you. It takes them a little time to get them to you. So what we do is we'll order one. When that shows up, we'll order the second one.
What would happen if you move and you go to another deck or something?
They follow you with that app. They follow you.
Is that right?
Yep. It's ridiculous.
That's crazy, man. That sounds interesting.
I got in a lot of trouble with that because I told Sheila that I'm going to get an app like this for the house so she can deliver to me wherever I am in the house. She didn't like that. She wasn't too amused with that. But
well, I thought didn't take it near as funny as you did.
Not at all. And then I told her I was just going to get a little bell to ring. She didn't like that either.
Oh, I've seen some of them memes and short clips and shorts or reels, whatever you want to call them, where a guy got that bell. Oh my God, they're funny. Ooh-wee.
Hold on, I think did I get? Oh no, I thought I got a mean message from somebody. I was mistaken. So yeah, that's what's going on. You got any plans for fishing this year, Lila? Are you going anywhere?
I don't know. I haven't made any plans yet. I've got 2 or 3 guys asking me about fishing tournaments and stuff with them. I haven't told them no, but it's going to be kind of tough for me to do that. But you know, I'm not ruling it out. But I've told some people about some different places and last year in tournaments, and they found fish in those places. So, you know, they've asked me to go with them, and I'm concerned, but I'm having so much fun catching them crappie. I just, and damn, they eat good. I'm not saying they're as good as catfish because it's hard to beat catfish. It really is. And catfish has kind of been my staple, but I've really been having a good time catching these crappie, and it's easy for me just to walk down the dock and go. But I have found some places on the lake that I'll be taking a boat that are supposedly loaded with crappie, and we'll find out.
You need to find a couple of big bluegill spots because I know how much you like bluegill.
Oh, I do like bluegill. I like to eat them. I like to catch them. So, but I got my Master Angler Award crappie last year, so I'll be looking for Master Angler Award for bluegill and red ear sunfish this year.
Do you know how big they got to be?
Yeah, 10 inches.
Okay.
10 inches for either one. And caught some that size last year, but never even thought to measure them to see if they was, but they was that big. So we'll see this spring how that works out. But I got that just over 15 inch crappie last year, and that was giving me a Master Angler Award. I've caught a bunch of catfish that would have made Master Angler Awards over the years, but didn't realize that they even had that until I talked to James and Katie and some other people that participate in that. So that's going to be my goal once I get them. Whatever species I'm fishing for, that's what I'm going to be shooting for is whatever size it takes to get a Master Angler Award for that specific fish. So, and I do plan on doing some flathead this year. I really do.
I'm definitely going to get out. I'm going to get out and do some flathead fishing this year. I'm going to try and figure them out during the day a little better and see if I can't do that. I'm getting to be too old to want to spend all night out there and fish for them at night. So we'll see if we can't find them during the week. I'm going to do a little fishing over on Lake Geneva a little more this year, try to figure out those big bluegills on that lake. You know, the same place I caught those big pumpkin seeds, there's big bluegill in there too. So we're going to go after them. Do that. I'm going to try and get up to Mendota. I got my buddy Richie, old high school friend of mine that wants to go fishing. We're going to go up to Mendota, maybe spend 3 days up there. We're going to Alaska. Other than that, it's going to kind of be it. The rest of it's going to be some local fishing and stuff here. So
yeah.
You know, and you mentioned the master anglers. I believe I got the flathead master angler here in Illinois. I didn't realize there was one kind of like you. I got the channel cat one. I got the walleye one last year. That's Illinois. I think, and I got the one in Wisconsin for a bluegill and for a channel cat. but I just never went to the steps to actually get them with the states. So.
Right. Well, it's all in Missouri now. It's all online. You send a picture and your information in, and they'll give you a certificate right online. You used to have to send stuff in, but you know, I just I had a lot of fun working to get that, and finally got that. But 15-inch crappie is pretty good size crappie.
Josh sent me a picture of me in Alaska. I got to share this with you guys. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Only because he's hold on, where'd he go? Oh, there it is. There, it's loading. I got multiple screens going up here. This is what Josh seems to think I'm gonna look like in Alaska. Tell me if he's right, Lyle.
Oh man, Josh him and Chad's got that AI stuff figured out pretty good right now.
Yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. Maybe I'll do a little more of that this year for our thumbnails. I thought the one today kind of made me laugh. Mark Barnum says, when I was married, I told the wife I had a remote for the TV, car, and if I can get another one for her, I'd be set. I miss her sometimes. I was going to say, he did say when he was married.
Yeah.
Look at this. Jerry says, Josh and I kept some channel cats last weekend. They were delicious from that ice cold water.
Yep. Sure they was.
Josh says, that's not AI. That's Yukon Cornelius from Rudolph. Oh, I know it looked familiar. I didn't realize he had a name. I had a buddy who had a dog named Cornelius.
Really? That's a strange name for a dog.
Yes. I don't know why he named it that, but he did. He also had a dog named Bob.
A dog named Bob.
That's just what he did.
Yeah.
So we started talking a little bit about how much you like the Rapala fillet knives.
I do. I really do. Like I say, I told you earlier, I had a favorite fillet knife of mine, and I left it on the cleaning station. Of course, it was gone when I went back, but I've been using these Rapalas, and I've done some studying on them. It's a really neat story. If anybody's interested in it, you can look it up online. It tells about the J. Martini, or however you say his name, that made these knives and then started selling them to Rapala. And now that Pure Fishing has bought Rapala and everything else in the fishing industry nearly, they actually have bought out that company that makes these fillet knives. And to my knowledge, the fillet knives are still made to that standard. And I've got 2 or 3 of them, and I really, really like them. I don't like them quite as well as I did that Norwalk, but pretty good. But you got to have a good knife that's flexible and extremely sharp to fillet a lot of fish. And the Rapalas hold their edge pretty well, and they're very flexible, and they last a long time. So a good sharpening system makes a world of difference.
Yeah, I just posted the link to the how it's made video for Rapala knives. I believe that's the one you're talking about.
Could be.
I posted the link to that one. The Rapalas, the whole story. There's another one, Made for the Outdoors. Is that it? Maybe.
Maybe.
That could be it too. I'll post that link too, Lyle, for the people in chat.
Frank says he has the original knife and one of the new ones. Yeah, I've got a couple of them like that. I really do like them. Greg says he likes his Dexter. I do not have a Dexter, believe it or not. I don't, and I'm not sure why. But there's another one from Germany that I've been looking at. Then they're not expensive, but fillet knives in general aren't terribly expensive compared to a lot of others, anyhow. But I've been looking at one from Germany, and I don't remember the name of it right offhand, but it's supposedly a really, really good knife, and it's got a wood handle on it, and it's pretty sharp looking. So
my grandfather used to use a plain old butcher knife, and he could knock the sides off of fish faster than anybody I know.
Yep.
Both sides, just so you guys don't get any wise ideas.
Troy says American Angler used to make good ones, but yeah, that's it. Yeah, they used to make some good ones, but I don't know that they do anymore. Those Renegade Walmart brand fillet knives suck. Yes, they do. I bought one and took it back, Frank. I was so disappointed in that. It was, and you couldn't even sharpen the damn thing. It was just horrible. And I took it back. Got my money back out of it. I told Mark before the show, I got a Kershaw that I like really well. And the other day, or not the other day, it's been a couple months now, or 3, I bought the ugly stick. And they don't come terribly sharp, but this one is now. And they're fairly flexible, not as flexible as the Rapala, but now that it's sharpened up, we'll see how it does. It does have the gut hook on it, which I don't know why you need that with fish, but some people might. But it's the handle. You can grab a hold of that handle, and it's basically a non-slip grip is what sold me on it. When you fillet a lot of fish, and I filleted a lot of fish last year, a lot of crappie, and the handles get hard to hold on to when you're cleaning 25 or 30 of them at a time. So I thought this would be handy dandy for me, but when I tried to use it, it was so dull, it didn't work out. It is not now. So we'll see how that works and go from there. And I'll let you guys know how I like it from that point on. But I think Normark was the name of that one that I left at the cleaning station. That was my favorite. It was flexible. It stayed sharp for a long period of time, and it was easy to sharpen. And I can't believe that I must have knocked it off and then just walked off and left it. The only thing I can think of, but I miss that. And I'm not sure if it was my son Mark's or just whose it was. It ended up in my boat one day, and it was so dull you couldn't even cut bait with it. And I sharpened it up, and I got to using that thing, and it was nothing. I've never found anything like it since. So if I ever run across another one, I'm going to have one. But I really liked it, and we'll see how it works. Stephen Sheets 30, welcome.
What's up, Stephen? Yeah. Troy says American Angler used to make some good ones too.
Well, Walmart had some. I was over, I don't know, it's been some time ago, and it was like $8 or $10 or something, real cheap. And I thought, hell, for $7 or $8, it's worth a try. We couldn't even sharpen it. You couldn't make it sharp. And the next trip back, I just took it back, got my money back. It was horrible.
A lot of people talking good about the Bubba blades. Yeah, I haven't had a chance to use them. Like I said, I got one of them lithium. I got a bunch of the Rapala ones. One of them I actually went on one of Josh's stream. I still have that. I got the lithium Rapala knife, which works pretty good. I also bought an additional Panfish blade, which is a really thin electric one that works terrific. But I'd like to try a Bubba just to see how it is. And Greg says, Mark, I have cleaned many a fish with my old Hickory butcher knife.
They're good. Old Hickory makes some of the best knives ever. They really do.
That's a no-nonsense one.
Yeah, Jerry, keep us updated on how you like that Bubba knife, because Josh has an electric fillet knife, and I keep forgetting what brand he said, and he is in love with it. And I forget which one it is, but he really likes it. But yeah, those old Hickories, they're pretty good. They really are great knives. But I'd like for you to keep us updated, Jerry, on how you like that Bubba electric, because for the price they need to be good. They're not cheap, but I have an electric one that doesn't have the right blade to fillet fish with. It's got like a knife blade for it, and it sucks at cleaning fish. So, but hell, I can't get along with electric ones. Maybe if I had used it more, I'd be better at it. But a regular fillet knife, I can whip out crappie pretty quick.
Yeah, the electric ones, once you get the hang of it, they're pretty easy to use. I can whip through 2 dozen crappie pretty quickly. Just whip them all off, take the skin off them, and then I'll just cut all the rib cages out. So
right, Frank says he's a full set of Cutco kitchen knives that will cut up fish great. Those are American made, 25 years old, and still awesome. That's great to know. I've never heard of that brand, but yeah, that's good.
Josh says mine is the Work Pro from Amazon. Comes with a case, 2 sets of blades, 2 batteries, a charger, etc. It's amazing, and he included the link. So,
oh, that's awesome.
Sorry, folks, I'd be highlighting more of these chats on the screen, but for some reason, StreamYard quit.
It's slow tonight.
It's real slow tonight. So, well, Lyle, you got anything else to share with the folks at home?
I do not. Other than bundle up, stay warm, try to not get out in this brutally cold that we got coming unless you're prepared for it. If you are, then that's on you. But I would say, as cold as it's going to be the next few days, if you need any milk and bread, you better be getting it because it'll be off the shelves in most of the stores before long. But yeah, it's going to be nasty. Just tie jigs or reline your fishing reels or stuff like that, getting them ready. I've got 2 tackle boxes sitting here I'm sorting out and going through and getting things ready. And like I say, I've been tying weed guards or brush guards, whatever you want to call them, on jigs for every night because I love them. And they save me from losing a lot of stuff.
Matt says he'll be hunting this weekend. I think his weather's not as brutal as ours down there in Arkansas, but have fun and keep safe.
It's not. It's not, but it still gets cold down there.
It does. That's no joke. He gets some snow from time to time. I want to remind everybody to keep Cindy's niece in your prayers. Whatever's bothering her, hopefully she'll get past all that. Also, and like Lyle said, keep safe, folks. It's going to be brutally cold out there. For some of us, colder than others. Keep covered up. Stay inside if you can. If you need groceries, see if you can't get them delivered. Walmart will deliver your groceries for you. Go ahead and have
it. Your friend.
Yep.
It really is. It is. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We'll see you next week.
Have a great week, everybody. Stay warm. Bye.